for Art Exploration with Jessica, Kelly, and Lisa. For my project example for white, I would do some white flowers. So I decided I would do a little loose sketch just of the shapes of my flowers so that I would have a jumping off point for where not to paint because I'll be doing negative shape painting. Now, if you haven't seen the first part of this video, be sure and hop over to my channel and watch the Art Exploration for April explanation of how to do negative shape painting and shadows for white, because our color of the month is white. I'm working in my Arteza journal today, the one that I've set aside for our art exploration group, and I'm using my Mission Gold watercolors. I'm starting with a nice blue to create sort of a sky as a background, and I'm going to negative shape paint around my flowers that I've drawn. Now I'm going to keep it loose and sketchy, as I always love to do because I enjoy that process. So I'm not going for perfect and perfectly realistic. I'm just going for loose, sketchy, fun, and getting those negative shapes in place. So I'm painting white flowers, or rather not painting white flowers, I'm painting around them to leave the impression of white flowers. And I'm using that mix of blues and purples just to create a nice airy effect. And I'm not being too careful. I'm going in between the petals a little bit. I am trying to be careful to keep sort of a wet edge so that nothing gets a hard edge in my background, because I don't want that. Adding in a bit more purple here and there just to create some interest. And I love how the flowers just sort of start appearing on the page. I'm not painting them, right? But they're still showing up there, and it's a really cool effect, I think. So it's a lot of fun to do. It's a little bit tricky to think that way, to think, okay, I'm not painting this shape of the flower, I'm painting the thing around it. But that is the concept of negative shape painting. And if you practice it, you'll get better and better at it. And it's really a lot of fun. Now I'm allowing that background to dry, and as I'm doing so, excuse me, I'm just going to go ahead and paint the centers of the flowers. I'm using a warm yellow and a touch of water, and adding in also a little bit of blue, which will of course make a green, but I'm letting the colors mix on the page. And as you can see, I have a lot of water in those centers, so I'm going to get some of those bloomy watercolor effects just within that little area, which is super cool, right? So I decided to go ahead and mix a little bit of yellow with that blue to get a neutral green color, and I'm going to just add in some stems. Again, loose, sketchy, nothing very realistic or perfect. I do want to add depth to those though, so I'm putting some little darks in here and there, and I'm also adding some sketchy leaves. This is a very quick process for me as far as that goes. I'm not taking a lot of time or thinking about it a lot. And these leaves may not be in real life go with these flowers, but I really don't care about that. I'm just sort of a fantasy, as I said before. Now, part of the magic of this is to add in shadows on the white. And I like, for some reason, I don't know why, hard edges for the most part in this case. You can always soften them with a lightly damp brush and lift some color, but I just like to add in little strokes, which to me add shadows to these flowers and give them a lot of depth. Now I'll put more little strokes around the center and then some fanning out, and sometimes even the petals are completely covered. So the centers are still wet, so I'm trying to be careful not to touch those. It's not going to hurt anything if these colors mix and blend, so if you want to let that happen, that's perfectly fine. I'm just trying to be a little bit more careful here and go right around and create some definition. So that's it. I've painted some lovely white flowers. I enjoyed exploring and experimenting with negative shape painting, with adding shadows to white. Now, it's a nice little sketch and I learned so much and I had fun doing it, and that's the point. I'll see you in the Facebook group. Every month we're hosting a color challenge and we're doing it in our private Facebook group, so we would love to see you there. The link is down below. And once you've finished watching this video, be sure to go check out Kelly and Lisa's YouTube channel for more color challenge fun.